Let's start. I now turn to the tax proposals for 1994-95 this year. I shall begin with the proposals relating to indirect taxes para. Over the years, our indirect tax structure has grown into a complex maze of high and multiple rates with numerous exemptions and different rates being applicable for the same product for different uses and users. This has resulted in unnecessary complexity leading to administrative abuse, mounting litigation, and uncertain economic impact. All this has effectively eroded the tax base and buoyancy of the system and created serious economic distortions. My proposals in both customs and central excise aim at simplifying the structure and continuing the process of moving to moderate rates of taxation per. Customs duties, though lowered in the past 3 budgets, need to be brought down further to make key imported raw materials and capital goods available to Indian industry at reasonable costs, and also to reduce unduly high levels of protection to industry. At the same time, the scale of duty reduction has to be calibrated to ensure that it does not place unreasonable pressure on domestic producers of similar products. In this framework, the key features of my customs tariff reform proposals are: further reduction in the peak rate of customs duty, substantial reduction in duties on key raw materials such as steel and chemicals, reduction in customs duties on capital goods to boost investment combined with other incentives which will help to the domestic capital goods industry, reduction or removal of anomalies caused by import duties on raw materials and components being higher than on finished products, a systematic effort to unify rates on similar products to serve both economic rationality and to reduce the scope for classification disputes, a major pruning of notifications including end-use exemption to about half their present number, thus reducing discretionary power and possibilities for disputes. I propose to reduce the peak rate of customs duty from 85% to 65%. Items like baggage and liquor will, however, continue to attract higher duty as at present. Availability of capital goods at reasonable costs is necessary to enhance our competitiveness and promote investment. It is also necessary to ensure that our domestic capital goods industry, which has tremendous potential, is not at a comparative disadvantage due to anomalies in the tax structure. To further both these objectives, I propose the following package of measures. I propose to reduce basic custom has tremendous potential, is not at a comparative disadvantage due to anomalies in the tax structure. To further both these objectives, I propose the following package of measures. I propose to reduce basic customs duty on project import and general capital goods from 35% to 25%. The facility of project imports is being extended to include port development, and this will help to reduce cost of investment and modernization in Indian industry. import duty on parts whether imported as parts of original equipment or as spares is also being reduced to 25% from the present rates, varying from 25% to 85% import duty on fertilizer projects and power projects will continue at nil rate and 20% respectively without any countervailing duty para. Domestic suppliers of capital goods have consistently argued that if domestic capital goods are to compete with imports, there should be countervailing duty on imports of capital goods equivalent to the excise duty on domestic capital goods. I propose to accept this demand para. I am simultaneously extending the benefit of mod VAT to capital goods so that full credit of excise duty paid on domestic capital goods or countervailing duty paid on imported capital goods will be available at one time. This has been a long-standing demand of all sectors of Indian industry. At present, machine tools attract duty at varying rates of 40%, 60% and 80%. I propose to simplify the structure by charging duty at 35% or 45% on the para. With the reduction of duty on finished capital goods, it is necessary to reduce the customs duty on steel, which is a key input. I propose to reduce the customs duty on steel from a range of 75% to 85% at present to 50%. Import duties on primary forms of major non-ferrous metals, copper, zinc and lead are also being unified at 50%. These proposals will give a strong boost to investment in the economy and will help the domestic capital goods industry in particular. To help domestic metal producers, the import duties on all ores and concentrates are being reduced and unified at 10% to reduce the cost of inputs for the secondary steel sector. I propose to reduce the import duty on melting scrap from 12.5% to 10% and on iron ore plates from 15% to 10%. Stop. Thank you. Jai Hind. Jai Mera Bharat. To reduce the import duty on melting scrap from 12.5% to 10% and on iron ore plates from 15% to 10%. Stop. Thank you. Jai Hind. Jai Mera Bharat. Jai